We travel the highways and the byways because this is a calling, right? I left my family the same as she did because 21 years ago, or more than that, I was called into this profession. So I am here selfishly, I will say that, because I know that when I elevate you, you elevate me. And when you elevate me, I elevate you. It's a reverse role. So I come here and I travel and I speak and I have 4 offices and I run ChiroFest selfishly because I know that when I make you better and when I help the profession, right, it's going to elevate my tone, right? We're all tonal, we're all connected. That's why she had us hug each other, right? Because we're innately connected. And the higher you vibrate, the greater I'm going to vibrate. And chiropractic needs to vibrate at a higher level. Today I want to talk about life without fear. I'm not going to jump super deep into Dr. Barge's book, but I want to give you the principles and some simple things to take you from where you are to where you want to go. Can we all agree in here that fear is within all of our lives? Right? When I got out of school, I was super fearful to open my first practice. Then I went about 10 years. Hey, why don't I do another one? I had some fear before I did that. And then about 3 years went by. Let's do a third. Let's do a fourth. Let's do a fifth. Right? Then I had some more fear last year, and I opened up a coffee shop. Like, what the heck? Right? So keep challenging yourself. Fear is good because it stretches you beyond where you want to go. Right? Mentors in the past, and all of you have probably heard, this is false evidence appearing real. Right? But I know that if I can come elevate you, you're going to help elevate me to continue my game because we are innately connected in harmony. Can we all agree on that? Exciting. So I want to start with a story. So I'm a West Coast kid, grew up on a couple acres. I don't want to say I was a country boy, but I was an outdoor young man. My family had a couple acres. We always had at least 2 cows, a couple pigs, a dozen or more chickens. My sister had a horse. But I wrestled, so I'm from Vancouver, Washington, which not the other Vancouver, not Canada, right? I'm down about 6 hours south. But I border Oregon, and so we could go into Portland, and it was in the city. And so I wrestled competitively downtown Portland. And so I had all these friends that I built relationships with that never lived outside. And so I would bring them over, and they'd get to see our cows and our dogs and all the stuff that we had outdoors. Well, this really good buddy of mine, Jason, came over, and I'm like, back then to raise money, I would catch crawdads. Anybody know what a crawdad is? Right? So I would go set traps, and then I would sell them to a neighbor that would eat them. I would never eat them, but they would eat them. Anyhow, so I brought him over, and we were out doing that one day, having a great time, summer, spring day. The Northwest is beautiful when we have ChiroFest. September, we have about 5 months of the year it's great, and it was around that time. And so we're out setting these traps, and coming back in, we heard this chirping while we were walking back to the property. And so we, curious little kids, we walk over and we look, and we see that a bird had fallen out of a tree. Not knowing any better, we pick it up and take it back and put it in with the chickens. We're like, let's put it with the chickens. Birds are birds. Let's see what happens. And so we go back, we put it in, and as the weeks go by, we start to see this is a baby eagle. And so watching this eagle start to pick up the characteristics of the chickens, right? So it would eat the seed that we gave it. It would go in and nest with the chickens. Right? And it started to lose what you and I would know as its eagle strength, its eagle power. And so the other chick was an influence. It started to, hey, my wings are a little bit different than yours. I'm shaped a little bit different. He's noticing these things. But the other chick would say, no, you're one of us. You can't fly. You're not strong. Do all the things that we do. And so that eagle, again, days and weeks would go by, we'd check on him, and we'd see him try and fly. So he'd try and launch himself, and he'd hit the fence. Right, where we had it in the coop, right? And they're like, you're a chicken, you cannot fly. Why are you attempting to do that? And more time would go by, and he'd start to innately know that what he was following was not where he was supposed to be, that he was designed and created to be something greater than who he was hanging out with. And so again, he'd fly and hit that fence and crash back down, go to nest with them, realize that I'm not laying eggs, I can't nest, get up and move, right? And one day he finally broke the barriers. He flew out over the cage, but then got confused and frustrated and lost, and we actually let him back in the cage, right? And they're like, see, you're supposed to be with us. And then a few more days or weeks go by, and eventually he was big enough, strong enough, and had developed enough courage in himself to fly out and leave that coop. Moral of the story, right? He lived in fear. You're living in fear. That eagle is no different than you or I. Bondage is placed upon us each and every day by our community saying, you're a chiropractor, you don't understand what health is. You're a quack. You're not a real doctor. Right? These are all things that we are accepting to ourselves because of the community. You're not smart enough. You're not athletic enough. These things that are holding us back from breaking out and being who God designed us to be. Now, that was just me telling a story, but I want to equate it to you that we have so much greatness inside of us, and we have to expand and break out of that and not be held to what society is placing upon you. Let's see if I can figure this technology out. All right. Theodore Roosevelt said, "Far better to dare mighty things than to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to take the rank of those poor spirits who neither enjoy nor suffer much because they live in that twilight known as neither victory nor defeat." Those that are sitting on the sideline, not getting in the game and playing for what we have. We have the greatest healing art known to man, yet most of us don't get outside of our office and share it with our communities. Most of us don't travel to a church, to a business, to anywhere and communicate what you know to be true. Right? I was called into chiropractic. I had an adjustment when I was 13 years old, didn't know it from Adam. Right? And I now know, 21 years into practice, that it connected man the physical to man the spiritual. And I knew at that time at 13 that I was going to be a chiropractor. Right? And followed it through my athletic career. I was blessed enough to play Division I football, continued to get adjusted every week throughout that entire time. Finished a bowl game, played down in the Alamo Bowl, finished that like on a Tuesday, flew home, started chiropractic school the following Monday. Right? Because I knew God had a mission for me in this profession. Not only to serve my community, but to serve you guys. See, it's not about me. Right? It's about chiropractic. Right? And I will do this until I have a 19-year-old and a to-be 17-year-old really quick. Right? I want their kids' kids to have what I have. Right? Until there's enough of us and enough conviction that aren't afraid of victory nor defeat, that want to get up and take the first punch to stand up for what we have. Right? We have to get strong in who we are as chiropractors. Have enough conviction and passion and purpose with who you are as a chiropractor that doesn't matter who you're talking to. Like Dr. Dan that started off this morning, right? Our lead hitter, our lead batter. Right? He is pulling the research and he's going in front of medical doctors and telling them the truth. Would you be willing? Are you convicted enough in what you have and understand as chiropractic to do that? Or are you living in fear? And there's 3 simple things to remove fear. It's your attitude, it's your beliefs, and your commitments. We're going a little bit deeper into them, but those are the takeaways today. It's all directly related to your attitude, your belief, and your commitment. Attitude is everything. What is your attitude when you get up in the morning? Do you have an attitude of gratitude? Do you have an attitude of greatness? Right? We choose our attitude each and every day. We choose it when we show up at school. We choose it when we get to the practice. It is a rule for my CAs in each of the offices that they leave their junk at the door. Right? We all have stuff. Right? We all have stuff. We can't break away from it, but we can choose what we want to bring into it for that patient experience. Right? You have to choose your attitude each and every day. Right? What you think, feel, and react to. What you think, feel, and react to. I can, I will, I must. I can, I will, I must. Repeat that. I can, I will, I must. I can, I will, I must. I can, I will, I must. If it's to be, it's up to me. Exactly. You are the owner of your destiny. Choose that attitude. Choose an attitude of abundance. That's the other thing that drives me freaking crazy when I travel and speak is chiropractors have the most lack-minded group of any group. We need more chiropractors making more money to give back to the profession, to influence more chiropractors to influence the community. Does that make sense? Like, serve more people in your practice. It's okay to have money. It's okay to pay taxes. You don't even want to know the check I have to write on Monday. right? It's painful, but it's a blessing, right? Have an attitude of abundance, because the more that we pour into this profession, right, the more that it's going to grow. Belief. You have to believe in yourself. What's another word for belief? Faith, right? Faith. Faith is belief in substances unseen until seen from reverse, right? The belief in substances until seen in reverse. Biblical, right? Noah building an ark. Okay, God. Years and years and years, right? That's like you and I, getting ridiculed years and years and years for what we have to know is true. And we're not going to see it till we're seeing from the other side. Right? So stand up for who you are and believe in what you have and deliver the goods to your practice members in your communities. Take it to the highways and the byways. Too many chiropractors act like Gideon, right? They get stuck in their four walls of their practice or their wine press. Right? Get out in the fields. Get out to where the people are. Don't hide and constrict yourself. Belief, right? It's a trust, it's a faith, it's a confidence. Belief that you are the answer. I was just talking to Dr. Dan after he got done speaking. He's coaching chiropractors now. And I saw this when I coached, and I see this when I travel. Not enough of us believe that we are the answer, that what we do works. And if you don't believe it, get into the science. There's more and more science today than 21 years ago when I got out, right, to help you have conviction in what we do works. Patients sense and feel that. You have to have belief in who you are when you're communicating what you want them to do. Right? If I stood up there and I didn't buy in, if I didn't live, breathe, and ooze chiropractic, right? Do you build a big practice? No, because that patient feels your weakness. They feel your uncertainty of what you have. The more certain you are, the less you have to talk. Patients just know that they know. Yes, doc, whatever you say, doc. Check you Monday. Right? Have belief in what you do. And if you haven't experienced miracles, reach out to a chiropractor that has and go hang out with them. Find a mentor that has. Right? Chiropractors are the most giving community ever. Find somebody, hang out with them, and let that employ you to do more. Right? Because what we have works. But you have to believe that to break through the fear of growing a practice. Right? Because people have fear of success, people have fear of failure, people have fear of relationships. Right? You have to have belief in who you are and what it does works. Right, and then what's your commitment? Right? A commitment is basically an agreement. It's an agreement with yourself to do what you set out to do what you were called to do in this profession. Yes? Who is fulfilling their agreement to God when they were called into chiropractic? Are you fulfilling your agreements? Are you committed to filling that agreement? Are you up early? Are you staying up late? Are you doing everything that needs to be done so that you fulfill your commitment? Because that's the third thing in breaking fear. You have to be committed to the process. Right? Commit to yourself first, or God first, and then commit to yourself. Right? Because when you commit to yourself, it's going to increase action. When you increase action, it's going to increase results. Right? And then when you increase results, you're going to increase your belief, which is going to increase your potential. I have a whole slide that's going to talk about that in a second, right? But the more we commit to ourselves, right? The more you commit to your vision. I didn't know what it was when I was 13 and it was placed in my heart that I was to do this, but I committed to the process. I met my wife now the next year and said, I'm going to be a chiropractor. Didn't know what it meant, nor did she, nor the abundance it would bring into our lives, right? But I committed to the process from 13 until now. Adopted it, made it mine, stuck to it, knew that that's what I was supposed to do. It became my purpose, my why. My kids know it, same as Devin's, right? They know that Dad's off telling his story to help the world be a better place. In events like this, in events like CalJam, my son heard me speak at CalJam 5 years ago or whatnot, and at that point decided he wanted to be a chiropractor. Pursuing that now. He's at Boise State in his first year, almost done. Right? Events like this light a spark. You never know how far-reaching something you say, think, or do will affect the lives of millions tomorrow. I just had a post, right? Jill's yesterday, Dane Donahue spoke at ChiroFest, brought a friend of his son's that is starting here at LifeView in September. Is that right? Is that what Dane said? Next quarter. Right? It helped him see his vision. It helped him find his purpose. And it kept him on track the last 2 years under his undergrad. Right? Commit to the process. Help your patients commit to the process of healing. Yes, miracles happen with one adjustment, but that's not committing to the process of structural correction. Lifetime chiropractors in here. When was the last time you got adjusted? Last week. Right? Are you keeping yourself checked? Because if you're incongruent with what you're trying to teach your practice members, you're not committed to the process and getting yourself checked regularly, that's incongruency. That's going to lead to weakness. That's going to lead to fear. Right? Commit to the process. Commit to eating clean. Commit to moving well. Most importantly, commit to getting adjusted or checked and adjusted when necessary regularly. I can't even count the adjustments I've had since I was 13. Thousands. Thousands. And patients know that that's why there's something different about you. So commit to the process. Commit to your art. There's so many variations of art in our profession. Find one that's you, that helps you express your innate to those patients. And everybody heals a little bit differently, right? Don't get stuck on my way or the highway, right? Find your art, master that art, commit to that art, and deliver that art. And commit to your community. Again, like I already touched on, get outside of your four walls. People should know who you are and what you are doing. Right? BJ said, any news is good news as long as they spell your name right? Any press is good press as long as they spell your name right? Get out and let people know who you are. People need what we have. Do you agree? Yes. Are you committed? Yes. Oh, that one got on there fast, right? So here's what I already touched on. So we all have potential. We all have underlying potential that we're not reaching. Right? And me included, everybody, even the most sought-after athletes, the smartest people in the world, right? They all have more potential because none of us are reaching our full potential. Right? And that potential, when we discover it, we got to start to take action. Right? You got to take action on whatever it is that you want to accomplish. If you want to do 100 push-ups, you have to start with 1. Right? So you have to take action. And if you want to excel, you take massive action, right? But that action leads to results or a result. Right? And then when you see that result, what's it do to you? Like, what's it do to your chemistry? It elevates it, right? It increases your vibrational tone, gets you excited, gets your juices flowing, right? So then that increased result increases your belief in that outcome. When you see patients get better, it increases your belief in chiropractic. When you do 10 push-ups, when you couldn't do 1, it increases your belief in your outcome to hit 100. Right? That action leads to a result which is going to increase your belief. Right? When we increase that belief, it's going to increase our potential again. It's just this positive force. Right? And the only way to shortcut action is to visualize. And both those are important, right? You guys watched this study earlier on the basketball thing, right? So visualizing, that's the other way to accelerate your potential. So you have to take action and then visualize. And those are going to increase your results. They're going to increase your belief in who you are as a chiropractor, as a human, as a dad, as an athlete, whatever you want to be, right? And then you're going to start to express that, and it's going to build more confidence and more chemistry and more juice and more enthusiasm and more excitement. And they're going to make you want to do more work. Right? And then when you do more work, you're going to get a better result, and then that better result's going to increase your belief even more, and then you're going to get a higher potential. Right? It's just this positive thing. We have to keep going and keep going and keep going. I will tell you this, success is boring. Because you get up and do the same thing every single day over and over and over. If you pattern and watch successful people, no matter if it's an athlete or somebody in the financial world, they're doing the same thing repeatedly, over and over, because it works. Right? It's work. But as Dr. Dan said, work is hard, I love to work. Work is hard, I love to work. Let's say that. Work is hard, I love to work. Work is hard, I love to work. We can't get, work is fun, right? We can't get the outcome we want if we don't do work. All right, here's a little barge in there for you. Do what you can with the life that you live for what you believe in. Do what you can in the life that you live for what you believe in. Are you doing that? Are you doing what you can at this moment in time for what you believe in? So that when you lay your head down at night, you can rest peacefully knowing that you did everything that you could to fulfill your mission and purpose in this world. Because we all have one, and they're all different. But we're all one, so we all impact everything. There's my crew. There's how you can connect with me. ChiroFest this year is September 13th, 14th, Great Pacific Northwest. Quick little plug for that. And that last little quote, that's from the Jerry Maguire world. Dickie Fox in that says, I love my life, I love my wife, and I wish you my kind of success. Thank you, guys.